Alright, welcome back to another episode of Mechbay. Today we're taking a look at the Hermes 2, the Hermes 5S, and you might be wondering, the Hermes 1 is a 30-ton light mech, but the Hermes 2, which is basically a late tech upgrade, does bring that design up to 40 tons. This is actually pretty common. You'll see the same thing with the Marauder versus the Marauder 2, there are, and the Marauder 3, things like that, Wolverine 2. There are generally tonnage increases with the redesigns. Which, I find some of them to be quite effective, some of them not. The Griffin 2 that I had in the last campaign was up to 60 tons, fully into heavy mech territory, but absolutely wonderful if apocryphal design. But today we're focusing on the Hermes 2, so let's get started. Hermes 2 has a built-in mech quirk called Easy to Maintain. This is basically like Omni Mech, but not. The trait description says that it permits extremely fast and easy refits. What's meant by this is that the tech time is very low, and you get a discount on replacing individual parts and pieces. Now, in my opinion, this is actually slightly better than an Omnimech, and the reason is on Omnimechs you can't fiddle with the engine configuration. You can't change the core size, you can't change the engine type, you can't even change the e-cooling, or the armor, or the heatsink kit. So what we're going to do today, since we can change all of that, is assume, maybe you had this trusty Hermes 2 from the start, something like that, but you've carried it with you in your mech bay, you have late game tech, and we're going to do a full how deadly can we make this sort of refit, which is, it's my favorite kind. So first thing we're going to need to fix is our weight, and if we have access to clan tech, that's going to be using a Clan XL engine, which immediately drops us to 5.5 tons remaining. I'm going to go over here into armor, and I'm tempted to do Ultra Ferro, which gives truly impressive armor weight reductions, but I think that's wasted on anything less than maybe 60-65 tons. So we're just going to go with Clan Ferro. Now we have 6.25 tons remaining, and let's go ahead and hit that max armor button, 3.5 tons. Okay, so I want to preserve the roll of this, but streamline a little bit. And the first way we're going to do that, rip off the flamer. This thing has an Ultra AC5 that's really long range. We're not going to be using a flamer very often. Or, you know what? Let's make some changes. So we go over here into weapons. One thing that you'll learn very quickly on is Ultra Autocannons, while great, are, like most things, made strictly better if you get the clan version. So let me show you what I mean. The Ultra AC5 has 35 damage per shot, 2 shots, 70 damage overall, for 9 tonnage. Now the clan version of this does 45 damage a shot, 2 shots, 90 damage, for 7 tons. Now, yeah, it runs a little bit hotter, so that's 15 heat, as opposed to the 8 generated by the Inner Sphere Ultra AC5, and that can contribute to some heat problems. But with the 2 extra tons you have from heat savings, it's not a really big deal, right? You can just add in a couple extra heat sinks. Actually, if you add in 2, that's a difference of 12, as opposed to the difference of 7 from the Ultra AC5 clan variant. You actually are heat negative there, not just heat neutral. So we're going to tear this thing out. But before I throw in an Ultra AC5, let me just make an observation. This Hermes 2 moves at 710, which is going to allow you to run absolute circles around, well, most inner sphere heavy and assault mechs. So why not add in some punch so you can do something with that mobility? So instead of an Ultra AC5 clan variant, we're going to add in a Clan Ultra AC10. This thing weighs a whopping 10 tons, so actually 1 higher than the Inner Sphere Ultra AC5, and an unfortunate side effect is that the ammunition bins are smaller. So as you go up in caliber for your Ultra Autocannons, or even the standard ones, you drop ammunition capacity per ton. It makes sense. It's a larger round, it's just physically heavier, right? So if we look at our Ultra AC2 ammunition, 45 shots per ton, Ultra AC5 ammunition is 15 shots per ton, and Ultra AC10 ammunition is 10 shots per ton. So I think to be safe, we need at least 2 tons on this thing. So let's go ahead and add that in. I'm going to get rid of that. AC5 ammunition. We still have 2.5 tons remaining, and controversial opinion here, I don't love medium pulse lasers. I think that the accuracy bonus isn't worth the weight, basically. So let's think this through. 27 damage off a medium pulse. You get +2 accuracy and 1 evasion pip ignored, which, assuming your target has evasion, is basically a +4. if we go over into our weapons and we take a look at just standard, well, just a standard medium laser. Let's see here, standard medium laser, +1 accuracy. So the difference is +4 versus +1. If your target stood still, it's +2 versus +1. Now, that's not enough. That's maybe, what, 8 to 12 percentage points on your accuracy? I'd rather take 2 shots. 2 shots at 50 is well worth, well, it compares well to 1 shot at 62%, shall we say. Do generate a bit more heat, and the medium lasers do 20 per shot, but, this medium pulse only does 27, which for the tonnage averages to a little under 15 per ton. So you actually lose damage per ton there as well. So we're going to rip this thing out. And we did say we have clan tech. So we are going to... let's add in some clan ER medium lasers. 1 and 2. I love these things. 30 damage instead of the 25 from a standard inner sphere ER medium. You do lose out on the accuracy bonus, but you maintain that 20% chance to deal critical hit with that weapon, which is a strict bonus. It makes it wonderful for crit seeking. And the basic idea with this would be that you run behind something, you fire, you open up its internals with the ultra autocannon and crit seek with, no, it's not perfect, but the ER mediums here. Now, if we want to make that a little bit better, we unfortunately don't have any missile slots on this thing, but what we do have is a support slot. And a controversial take here, but one thing you can do with this is add on, oh, where is it? I'm looking for an MG array. It is inner sphere tech, and it does have reduced crit chance, but oh, well, I don't love that either. Okay, let's take a look at our heat efficiency. We're alpha striking for 53, heat sinking 60. You know what? Let's just round it out, keep it on a theme. We'll add in a 30 our medium laser. Now we're a little bit under where we could be for cooling. So we can go into our cooling section and throw in a double heatsink. You could replace this with clan doubles, it really doesn't make that big of a difference at this point. And then finally, we'll go back into support, and instead of an offensive weapon here, we're going to be looking for a tag. The light tag, I believe, is 0.25. No, okay, that's 0.5. So on a light tag, I'm looking for standard tag as well. Let's see where that is, all the way down here. Ah, there's a tag. That does weigh 1, but the clan tag, okay, also 1. So we'll use a light tag in here. The bonus isn't as high, but it still is +1. We had nothing else really to do with that tonnage since we do have our armor at maximum. And this is, that's a lot of danger for a single, a single 40-ton light mech. This thing is rivaling the sort of damage output you'll get from an inner sphere 70-75 tonner, which, I mean, hey, that's the sort of value that you're looking for. Plus, since we didn't have to switch out the core, we are still moving at 710. Which means that you'll have plenty of evasion pips. 10 on the sprint will be able to run circles around anything 60 tons or higher that the AI will generally throw at you unless it's a clan mech. So basically this thing can take on anything confidently other than maybe clan omni-mechs. Yeah, that would be, I wouldn't wager this thing up against the Thor because similar speed but way lighter armor. But yeah, I mean, 100 on each torso, side torso anyways, nothing to scoff at, let alone the 120 on the CT. And this mech is something I would love to start a campaign with. Not something you can do, you won't have the tech for it, but oof, I would love it. Alright, that's all we've got for today. Thank you all for hanging around, and we'll see you again real soon.